All right, I am jumping on to do a quick Q&A because it's been a minute since I have jumped on to do a quick Q&A, and I've been getting a lot of questions. So let me go ahead and start addressing these questions. If you have questions, please enter them into the comments, and I am happy to speak into what you are looking to learn or understand about what's presenting in your body. For those of you who don't know me, I am Kelly. I am board certified in holistic nutrition, and I am an integrative healing practitioner and a medical intuitive. So what does all that mean? That means that I really, really, really understand how the body works in terms of what is normal and what is dysfunction. And the best part about that is I know where to look for dysfunction. And 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, where to look for dysfunction is in the gut or the digestive system, which technically is part of the gut. So we can just simplify and say all dysfunction starts in the gut, which is actually what Hippocrates said. All dysfunction and disease starts in the gut. So we've known this for so long, and still standard Western medicine does not look at the gut, which is why so many women in our country get gaslit, because we're told everything is normal and we're fine, and we know that we feel anything but fine. So let me look at, I've got a list of comments here. My doctor says my thyroid is fine, but I'm exhausted all the time. What am I missing? Great question. There is so much that you could be missing. Right out of the gate, it might not even be your thyroid. It could be that you're not digesting well, so you don't have the nutrients that your mitochondria need to make energy. Mitochondria, if you remember from science class, they make ATP. They're the powerhouse of the cell, right? For all my fellow nerds out there. If you don't have the building blocks of nutrients that you need, your mitochondria get sick and they cannot make ATP or energy. So you might be exhausted all the time because your mitochondria are sick because you're not digesting and absorbing well. Or you might be tired all the time because you have a very unstable blood sugar response, and it's creating a crap ton of inflammation in your body, making you feel like hot garbage. It could be that they're looking at your thyroid only in terms of TSH and T4. Let me break this down a little bit. The way your thyroid hormones work is you have 2 forms of hormones. You've got T4, which is storage, and then it has to convert to T3, which is the active form. So if they're only looking at TSH, that's thyroid stimulating hormone, that just says, yep, we're having a lot of inflammation in the body, and the body's tapping on the thyroid hormone or thyroid gland to say, make more hormone. Doesn't actually tell us what's going on in the body. If you have good T4, but they're not looking at free T4, total T4, free T3, total T3, you have no idea if your body's actually able to convert from T4, the storage form, to T3, the active form. So that could be it. You also could be exhausted all the time because you have a gut imbalance. If you have something in your gut that is out of balance, like yeast, mold, fungus, or even harmful bacteria like Clostridia, SIBO, what's the other one that I see a lot? C. diff. I see C. diff a lot. If you've got any kind of imbalance like that, you are not going to be functioning very well. You're not going to be feeling very well, and you're going to feel tired. And it's because when we have gut dysbiosis, it creates so much inflammation in the body. So if you are being told your thyroid is normal, but you are feeling exhausted, I would say, look at what's happening in your gut. You're going to hear me say this all the time because it's true. Look at what's going on in your gut. I have an assessment called the Holistic Health Blueprint Session, and it's a Chinese medicine tool that allows me to organ map your body in terms of organs and organ systems, so I can see to what degree your body is experiencing dysfunction, and then I actually graph it out for you so you can see in what order your body's asking for support. So I want to share with you, a client came to me for fatigue, chronic fatigue, and they were not sure what was causing it. They were sure it was their sleep and sleep was an issue for them. We did the Holistic Health Blueprint session, and we graphed out exactly what her body was saying, and it was actually a blood sugar response. So she could have chased all kinds of rabbits trying to fix her sleep, take all kinds of supplements, and she did not even have it on her radar that she had a blood sugar issue. And the most common thing that I hear is, I don't have a blood sugar issue because I don't need medication. I don't have a high A1C. High blood sugar is not the only thing that's damaging to your body. Hear me say that if you have low blood sugar or an unstable blood sugar response, you are causing just as much damage to your body as if you had high blood sugar. Doctors don't tell you anything about it because they don't medicate for a poor blood sugar response. They're only looking to see where the bookends of disease are so they know when to medicate you. So those are all the possible scenarios for my doctor says my thyroid is fine, but I'm exhausted all the time. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the comments and I will add it to the questions that I am answering. The second question that I got is, I'm doing everything right. Oh, I hear this one a lot. I'm doing everything right. I'm eating clean. I'm exercising, but I can't lose weight. What is going on? Okay, I want you to picture that your body is like a house that's on fire and all the doors and windows are closed. So all that smoke is building up and you can't even see where the flame is. That is what inflammation does to your body. When you have chronic inflammation, nothing is going to budge because your body can't even function right. So if you are struggling with your body responding to things, the very first thing I start looking at is, where is all the inflammation coming from? It could be coming from blood sugar. It could be coming from a gut imbalance. It could be coming from poor dietary choices. There are certain things that happen in our gut, like candida, for example. If you have a candida overgrowth, you're going to crave carbs and sugar, and maybe this has been how your whole journey has been and you think this is just the way I am. But if we fix that dysbiosis, you stop craving those things. So it's not just the way you are, it's the way you are with dysfunction in your gut. So it could be that you are not digesting and absorbing well. If you're not digesting and absorbing well, you're going to have thyroid problems, you're going to have sex hormone problems, you're going to have insulin response problems because your body's not functioning right and your digestive tract is likely inflamed. So before we can look at any of the byproducts that we want to get, like losing weight, having the bloat and the inflammation, the swelling come out of our body, we've got to look at what caused the body to get there in the first place. You can starve yourself and still not move the needle when you have super high inflammation. And it is such a widespread problem. 14 out of the 15 global leading causes of death are currently directly tied to chronic low-grade inflammation. The last number I saw for our country, I want to say 7 out of 10 Americans have chronic inflammation that has pushed them into dysfunction and is tipping the scales towards disease. What am I saying? I am saying that if you have inflammation, you can tell you have inflammation because your body's not responding. If you leave that unaddressed, you are marching from dysfunction into disease. It's a really big deal. The next question that I have here is, how do I know if my gut is the problem? What signs should I be looking for? Great question. The short answer is, if you have chronic symptoms, it's probably your gut, because your gut controls everything in your body. It's kind of like the air traffic controller for your body. If you are not digesting well, if you are not absorbing well, you don't have the nutrients you need for neurotransmitter pathways to make cholesterol. Cholesterol is directly tied to your mental health. If your cholesterol is off, you will have so much more anxiety and depression. The sweet spot for cholesterol is 220. Most practitioners are going to tell you if you're at 220, you need to be put on a statin. But I will tell you, according to Dr. Daniel Amen from Amen Clinics, the sweet spot's 220. Pharmaceuticals actually lobbied to lower the cholesterol number, which is crazy because they weren't selling enough statins. And the rub of that is that when you are on a statin, I did a whole paper on this in my education, they know that within 8 to 10 years of being on a statin, you will likely be diabetic because of what a statin does to your body. So I have a client that came to me, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. There was multiple things going on. Their digestive tract was inflamed, and just saying hi. They weren't digesting and absorbing. That was part of their problem. The other piece of their problem was because they weren't digesting and absorbing, they weren't making certain things in the body. And when we looked at labs, they were told everything looked great, and their cholesterol was, I don't want to say it wrong, I believe it was like 118. And their doctor told them, see, your cholesterol is great. There's nothing to worry about. If your cholesterol is that low, you are going to feel awful. You are going to be anxious. You are going to be depressed. You're going to feel like you don't have a will to live. So working with this woman, I actually put them on a cholesterol supplement, and I had them tweak their diet a little bit, because we always want to try to get things in through food sources if we can. And after about 6 months of taking cholesterol and eating more cholesterol food sources, her number came up to like 180, 190, which is still a little bit low, but they could not believe how much more calm they felt on the inside. And it's because cholesterol is directly tied with our mental health, but nobody's talking about this. If anything is wrong with your gut, it will affect every aspect of your quality of life, physical, mental, and emotional. Another question that I get a lot is, why do I wake up at night to pee so much? I love when people say this, because I get it. It feels like you're waking up to pee all night, but you're not. You're waking up because your blood sugar is dropping too low, and your body is waking you up because blood sugar that is too low can be life-threatening. And we wake up and we think, oh, well, I have to go pee. And sure, if you go to the toilet, you will pee. But if your blood sugar did not drop, you would not have woken up. You would have slept through it. So when I get this question from clients, the first thing we do is we take a look at what's happening in the gut that's causing the blood sugar issue. You have to remember that if you chase a symptom itself, you will get very, very limited results. It's not going to stick, because you're not getting down to the root cause of why it happened in the first place. So yes, it's a blood sugar issue. My next question is, why is it happening? And I keep drilling down in your body. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Until I actually see, oh, it's all coming from here. So in the client that I'm thinking of to share this story with you, what was happening in their gut was they had mold exposure. I see people from all over the country that have mold, and they have no idea that they're living with mold. They just feel like their health is chronically unraveling, and nobody's looking for mold. It's a specific part of the gut testing I do that will tell me if there's mold. Here's why mold is such a big deal. Mold is a thief. What does that mean? It means it will take every nutrient that you put into your body first and use it for itself, and you get the leftovers. So if you have mold, you are going to have an inflamed gut, you're going to have an inflamed digestive tract, and you're going to be very nutrient deficient depending on how long you've had mold in your body. The thing that's interesting about mold is that 80% of people, when exposed to mold, can remediate it on their own with their autoimmune system. But for the other 20% of people, mold actually kind of disables our detox pathways and sets up shop, and then it just starts colonizing and growing. And by that point, the immune system is no longer healthy enough to take care of it. So we need to go in and remediate it, like what I did with this client. And the thing that I really want you to hear me say about mold is, if you even suspect that you might have mold, get tested with me or with another qualified practitioner, because mold is a carcinogen, which means if you let mold just be in your body, it will turn on cancer expression in your body. I studied integrative nutritional oncology under Dr. Nalini Chilkoff, and we were told straight up, 9 times out of 10, cancer takes 10 to 20 years of cellular dysfunction in the body before a tumor will form. We're kind of conditioned to think like, oh, all of a sudden I just got cancer. And there's always outliers. That can absolutely happen, but it is absolutely not the norm. So with this person, we remediated the mold, and they watched their symptoms ebb away more and more and more and more. And they got to a point where the mold was fully remediated, and they did not even know it was possible to feel as good or as stable as they felt. Quite beautiful. Let me see my next question here. Brain fog. I keep walking into a room and I can't remember why I'm in there. Is this menopause? Great question. No, it's not menopause. In our country, so many things get blamed as menopause, and it's not menopause. Now, if we already have dysfunction in the body and we're heading into perimenopause and menopause, the hormone shifts that naturally occur are going to compound the dysfunction that you are already experiencing, that you have been ignoring. I cannot tell you how many women will come to me with a whole list of symptoms, and they will tell me that it's age, or it's the way their family is, or the way their body is, and it's all dysfunction. So if you've got anything that is a chronic symptom, hear me say it is dysfunction. Now, for the brain fog piece, there's many reasons this could be happening. None of this is normal. You can go through menopause and have it just be a blip. If it's not a blip for you, it's because something is wrong in your gut, okay? Most countries around the world, when women go into menopause, it's just kind of a blip for them. In the United States, women go into menopause, and it is like the turning point in their quality of life. They are sweating through the night. They're getting hot flashes. They're having mood swings that are like way high and then way low. They're forgetting things. They're gaining all kinds of weight. And it's because dysfunction has been ignored in their body like a sleeper cell. And then it's like a grenade, right? And then the hormone shifts happen in menopause, and it pulls the pin, and poof, everything falls apart. So many women tell me that they feel like everything falls apart in menopause. And when I start asking them, when's the last time you felt this? When did this start? When did this start? It's typically at least 10 years since they felt really well, and they just didn't pay attention. So neuroinflammation is going to cause brain fog. What is neuroinflammation? It means when you have inflammation so much in your body that's now crossing your blood-brain barrier, and your brain is inflamed and it can't function properly. Blood sugar. Blood sugar is probably maybe tied for first for the offender for why you have brain fog and fatigue. So blood sugar is not just an issue when it's high. It is an issue when it's low, and it's an issue when it is unstable. What does that mean? It means if you wait too long to eat and you're getting hangry, or you're getting shaky, or you just start getting really spacey and you're not able to focus, your blood sugar when you eat is going really, really high, and then it's going really, really low. It should just do this. When we have the highs and when we have the lows, that's when damage happens in the body, and it becomes like an inflammation generating machine. So with this client that I have in mind to share a story with you, because I love stories, they had so much brain fog that they actually went and got tested for Alzheimer's. Their father had passed away from Alzheimer's, and they were freaking out that it was happening to them. And the test came back that she was all in the clear, but she felt truly that they had missed something, because there was no way that this could be anything but that. Eventually she found me. We did some testing. We actually started with the Holistic Health Blueprint session even before we did gut testing, and I just wanted to see what her body was saying. The Holistic Health Blueprint is a fantastic tool for decoding the symptoms of the body into a chart that we can look at and say, oh, these are the organs and systems in the body that are out of balance and experiencing dysfunction, and they are in this priority. And for this person, blood sugar was 3 times what it should be to be in range. And then the next piece was adrenals. They had been in fight-flight mode for so long. 1, their blood sugar totally dysregulated. It was volatile. And 2, they fried their adrenals. When your adrenals run out of gas and are fatigued, everything becomes harder. So with this client, the first thing we did was start stabilizing the blood sugar response in the body while simultaneously supporting her adrenal health. And within 3 weeks, she stopped having afternoon crashes. And within about 6 weeks, she couldn't remember the last time she had brain fog where she completely forgot what she was doing and just kind of froze, like, why did I walk in here? So the body can turn around pretty quick when you understand what it's saying and you give it what it needs. The next question that I have here is, how do I know if I am, let me scroll up. How do I know if I am damaging my adrenals? Great question. I don't love the word damage because we can exhaust things in our body and we can damage things in the body, but the thing about your body is that it is intelligently made, and I watch bodies rebalance and heal all the time. I experienced it in my own journey. In my early 30s, I was bedridden. I almost lost my life. At one point, we made videos for our kids because they were so young and I knew they weren't going to remember me. And I walked back 6 autoimmune diseases, which they told me wasn't possible. I actually got into it with my endocrinologist, and I kept pushing for, why is this happening? And he just lost his patience and said, look, this is the hand you've been dealt. You just have to accept it. And I remember feeling so deeply offended. I literally said back to this endocrinologist that was the most unloving thing that he could say to me. And he would never say that to somebody that he actually cared about, which is true. And it wasn't true that I had to deal with it. I could have settled, but something in me knew that was BS. So I started doing my own research. Before I did this, I was an IT engineer, and I just started digesting medical journals. And the common thread that I saw was inflammation through all of it. And through inflammation, it led me to everything starts in the gut. And that's why I walked back my 6 autoimmune diseases. So for the adrenals, how do we abuse our adrenals? Well, you know that you're abusing your adrenals if you are staying up past 10:30 at night. If you stay up past 10:30 at night, your body's natural circadian rhythm gets really messed up. And what happens is you will notice, if this is you and you're up past 10:30 at night, that you kind of get this second wind and you feel great, but then you end up wired and tired. That is you using more than your adrenals have in the tank, and it's causing them to dig deeper and push out a second wave, and then you're at a deficit for the next day. You will also know if you are wearing out your adrenals, if you are relying on caffeine, sugar, stimulants to get going in the morning. If you are waking up and you are not refreshed, your adrenals are tired. You will also know if your adrenals have taken a hit if you are startling more. If things happen and you jump or you startle, you have that startle response, that's your adrenals. You will also know that your adrenals have taken a hit if you start having low back pain. I see so many women that they go, oh, I think it's my kidneys. And it could be your kidneys, but 9 times out of 10, it's your adrenals. Your adrenals sit on top of your kidneys like little hats. So right above your hip bones, if you feel like achiness down there, it's likely your adrenals, especially if you're having a lot of these other symptoms. If you're waking up tired and wired and tired at night, your adrenals are asking for help. Another thing that can happen with that low back pain, since it's kind of in my mind right now, is I see an alarming amount of women who are deficient in vitamin D. This is a really, really big deal because not only is vitamin D going to cause back pain, joint pain, just like bone pain in general, it also is linked to over 50 different types of cancer. I see labs all the time. I live in the weeds of people's health and lab work, and they will hear that I got clean labs. My doctor says I'm fine, and I'm looking at their labs and their vitamin D level is like 30. That is way, way too low. And they're exhausted and their body aches. And I start bumping up their vitamin D levels to what is therapeutic and optimal, because everything I do is what is in therapeutic range and what is for optimal functioning and wellness in the body. And within the first month, they're like, I'm not achy anymore, and I'm starting to have more energy. Your immune function requires vitamin D. So if your labs are, I would say, even like 50 or below, you probably need to look at why your vitamin D is so low. Are you burning through it? Are you not digesting and absorbing well? Are you experiencing so much stress in your body that you can't keep up? Figure out why it's happening and then give your body what it needs. The thing about vitamin D also is that we think we can get it from sunshine. I hear this all the time. Oh, I'm out in the sun all the time. You can't get what you need from the sun. And also, not everybody can metabolize what we get from the sun properly into vitamin D. Now, what I will say about that is if you're supplementing with vitamin D and you're not getting any time in the sun, you're not activating the vitamin D. It's a yes and. Yes, you need vitamin D and you need sunshine to activate it. Vitamin D is also part of what helps our bones stay healthy as women as we head into perimenopause and menopause. If you do not have the right amounts of calcium, magnesium, vitamin K, and vitamin D, you can't take that calcium that you're putting in your body and spackle it to your bones. When I was going to school for holistic nutrition to get my board certification, I wrote the case study for my school on osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis. So I have seen so much data on women who only have a part of the puzzle, and they're taking calcium, or they're taking magnesium, or they're taking vitamin D plus K. But if you don't have all the pieces and in the right amounts, you can't take that calcium and then spackle it to the bone, which is a really big deal, because as we move into perimenopause and menopause, our DHEA goes down, which is directly tied to our bone health. And if we're inflamed because we've had this dysfunction heading into menopause and now it's really exasperated, we're not going to be digesting well, we're not going to be absorbing well, and that means we're going to be nutrient deficient. So our bones are going to take a hit. And this is why so many women, as we head into perimenopause and menopause, start shrinking. It's because we are not taught how to have a healthy digestive system, how to have a healthy gut, the importance of having both, and how to know what it feels like to be nutrient dense versus nutrient deficient, so that we don't have to do these things that our Western disease model calls normal. It's not normal, it's all dysfunction that we've now justified, and it becomes a sickness management system. That is my last question that I wanted to touch on today. If you are watching this and you have questions about what you're navigating or what's going on with your body, or how do you know what's what, or where to even start, please reach out. You can comment below this video, or you can reach out to me directly. I'm happy to speak into what you're navigating. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone, and I'll see you soon.